Where were you born?
North Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And if somebody's not familiar with that, maybe they're familiar with a larger city. What's the closest larger city to that?
The closest largest city to it is Oklahoma City.
How far?
But an hour away.
Hour away.
But everybody is familiar with it. If you say Black Wall Street, then you will be more familiar with Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's the original, this black capital of the world. So as far as history go. So if you tie that to it, then you'll be more familiar with the city as opposed to just saying Tulsa.
Now, do you still reside in Tulsa today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna live there forever.
Certain part you represent?
North side. So north side, all of North Tulsa to be exact, but the whole city in general though.
Now, growing up, what was that like for you? Can you paint that picture for us?
Yeah, man, growing up in Tulsa, for me anyway, you had your street life, you had your every day just growing up getting into stuff. But for me, it's all black, urban, side of town, growing up, you would say, it's kind of like you grew up not knowing and having without, and then you find out history, you find history that they've been trying to hide from you your whole life. And now it feel like they've been holding vital information on us, and now we figuring it out. We taking advantage of all the keys that we lost. So we was a lot of recklessness and a lot of not knowing yourself is what it was about growing up until we found certain gems, you know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I grew up in the countryside of town. I grew up around family. I grew up around entrepreneurs. I grew up around people that work for themselves, whether it's a small business or a big business. Just people of that nature, man. That's how I grew up.
Okay, something that you said I want to key in on. You said they've been holding back. Who's they?
So they are. So my city was burnt down in 1921 by Ku Klux Klan members and just terrorists. First terrorist attack on U.S. land was in my city. So that's they, oppressors. All the records, all the history, it's not in the history books. It's not in the school books in our city. It's in there now, but growing up, we had no idea and no identity of where we came from and what we could do. That's they. So they took that away, and we kind of found it due to the internet. You know what I'm saying? People putting information on YouTube, documentaries. That's how I found out about it when I was about 23 years old. And it kind of just sparked my interest into why it helped me form my lane of the music I'm in today.
Rap music?
Rap music.
Now, you also spoke of these gems that were taken away and then reclaimed. You said some of them. What's the biggest one that comes to mind to you?
Really just knowing that you don't have to play football or basketball to be successful. That's not the only outlet. Knowing that we come from a generation of royalty and wealth and traders and builders and workers that work with each other, kind of like Atlanta here, you know what I'm saying? So just knowing you come from that and learning and reading and seeing information on those things, you kind of start saying, oh, I can do this. I don't have to play football. If football don't work, basketball don't work, there's other avenues, so those are the gems.
Financially, how did you grow up?
Financially, I grew up in we wasn't poor, and we was like in between poor and middle class.
Lower middle class.
Yeah, like lower middle class. So Two parents household. Um, we had internet, 56K modem, you know what I'm saying? LimeWire, Napster, basketball goal, like one set of black shoes, one set of white shoes for the school year, you know what I'm saying? That's how I grew up, you know. Sometimes cable, sometimes you don't. Like regular average lifestyle.
What did that teach you, that lifestyle there?
Man,
What did you take from that?
I'm the same way. I don't need much. You know what I'm saying? I don't need much. I thrift store growing up. I'm thrift store now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it just taught me that's just material. I still love it. You know what I'm saying? I still like what I like, but just material shit. It's just taught me not to worry about it. Most people that got it, most people that grew up with all that, they need the love and attention that I had growing up. You know what I'm saying? So you see them on the internet lashing out for attention and doing crazy stuff. I think parents got them all that to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had all the games and the video games and the shoes and had everything, but you didn't have the attention. I grew up with the attention and the family and stuff. So I think I like how I came up. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with it.
Was your family able to move up to a higher class financially at some point?
Man, my mom's did. My mom's did, and right when she did, she passed away. Right when she built her own house in the more suburban part of town, she passed away probably 4 months after having the house. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, she worked her ass off to get to where she was at.
How did she pass, if you don't mind me asking?
Like breast cancer. It was more of a lung disease that she had, and it just came out of nowhere. She didn't smoke or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah.
When they found it, it was a late stage?
Well, she had like asthma forever. It just got worse and worse. And when they did find it, yeah, it was a late stage.
Stage 3, stage 4?
I don't even know. I just know she ain't here. You know what I'm saying?
Does this type of thing, is it genetic in your family?
I hope not. You know what I'm saying? That's something I do keep in the back of my head. And when I like, if I ever get any breathing issues or anything like that, or I check on my brothers and my sisters. But I'm not sure. We'll know soon now that we getting of age. So.
What age were you when she passed?
I was 20. I was 20 years old.
Parents never split? Two-parent household the whole time?
Nah. My mom's and my pops split up for whatever reason when I was like 15 years old. So, and that's when we moved to the east side of town. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up in two sides of the city.
You ended up living with your mom?
Yeah, I ended up living with my mom's.
Was that by choice?
Yeah. It's a black mama. She, you know what I'm saying? Like, hell yeah.
Even though your parents separated, father was still in your life?
Yeah, I talk to my pops every day. Every day. He played the bass. He in my life for sure. He on my shows. He support everything I do.
In good relationship with them at this point?
Yeah, for sure.
Hindsight 2020, how did that affect you, the separation of your parents, even at 15?
Man, I think it affected me because as far as my pops worked for himself. He worked for himself his whole life, building houses, roofing, things of that nature. And when they separated, instead of me kind of learning that trade, I ended up working a job during that time period where he would have been taking me under his wing from that 16 to 21. And so all that time spent, it kind of got me conditioned into working. I got so used to filling out apps and working jobs because that's all I did in that time period. I think I would have learned, I always say I would have learned that trade had we spent more time with each other, and I would have I would have learned the knowledge that I finally got working for myself now, like just at 30, 31, I would have learned and picked up those trades and that knowledge from 16 all the way to now. That's probably the only thing that I missed out on, just spending a lot of time in the ain't nothing wrong with having a job at all, but for me, it's just something I didn't want to do, and I always tried to fight my way to get out of it. And I think I would have learned how to work for myself a lot faster.
Now, somebody watching this may be dealing with the separation of their parents as well.
Yeah.
And circumstances could be different for everybody and anybody. But do you have anything you would say to somebody going through those motions watching this interview?
Nah, man, it's we got I can't tell nobody what they're going through that don't have their parents, you know what I'm saying? As far as going through with them just passing, I can speak on that because I've been through it, you know what I'm saying? So speaking on a parent passing, you just got to keep living, you know what I'm saying? It's something that don't go away, but you just got to keep living, and you got to look, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand that they with you and just keep going. But as far as people growing up without their pops, I can't speak on something that I never, you know what I'm saying, been through. I know it ain't easy.
Well, I meant to say the separation of your parents.
The separation?
Yeah, dealing with the split of two parents. Anything you would say to somebody going through those motions?
Life happens, man. You understand it more when you get older. You can speak when you get old enough to have a conversation with your parents about why. You'll understand it more when you're going through it with your own partner, or if you go through it with your own partner. So it's like when my parents went through it, it was kind of something that it wasn't nothing that you didn't know was coming. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it, but we kind of knew it was coming. So when it happened, it was for the better. I'd rather them split than clash in front of us as kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's people got to do what they got to do to keep living. You know what I'm saying?
Now, you mentioned jobs here. I'm assuming you did a bunch of jobs growing up. And I want to talk about the resume there in a second, but also too, in the beginning of this conversation, when I asked you to describe, how it was growing up, you also mentioned, you said there's the street side of things with Tulsa. Did you ever get involved in street activity or the streets?
I never got involved in no street activity. You get involved in whatever, like growing up hip hop, you just get influenced by certain things, but I wasn't ever no street nigga, you know what I'm saying? I lived in the hood, I grew up in the hood. I got friends that live and died by street life, but me per se, I was always working or doing some extracurricular activity, whether it was sports or rapping, or they try to keep me, people keep me out of that, you know what I'm saying? You need to be doing this, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what my music is. My music is the other side of the hood. It's more the light. It's more the light of the hood instead of the regular stories. Everybody know the cliche shoot 'em up, thug stories, but let's talk about the good parts, you know what I'm saying? That's where I come in.
How big was gang activity back then in your city?
It was bad. It's still bad. It's still bad. And that come from people growing up without parents, you know what I'm saying? Or growing up without guidance. And it's not really gang activity no more. It's just street politics and any other thing that's going on, just beef, you know what I'm saying? But it's always been bad, and it's bad now, but I mean, I'm pretty hands-on in my city as far as with the North, so it's not as bad as it used to be, but we're trying to fix that. That's what we're here for.
Never joined one yourself?
Nah.
You made a conscious effort not to?
Man, I had, like I said, bro, I had two parents. I had a black mama and a black daddy. I grew up in any regular hood where it's apart, but me, I knew I couldn't, like, I ain't about to listen to no big homie, you know what I'm saying? And then go home and have to listen to I ain't about to listen to two people. I'm gonna just listen to my parents, fuck you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't about to listen to you too, and go over here, like, nah, you ain't nobody to me, you stay with your mama, so.
When it came to working for you, how young did that start?
Came to working for me, working a job?
Working. I meant working in the general sense. It probably sounded like one sentence there, working for you. But no, when it came to working, how young did that start for you?
16, my 16th birthday. It took me to a job fair, you know.
Give me the resume here. What jobs did you have?
Man, I done worked at Sonic. I done worked at call centers. I done worked at FedEx. I done flipped all the burgers. I done made tacos. I done been a waiter, a host, a construction worker. I've probably worked, man, my resume is terrible because they're all like, a lot of them aren't 2-week notices, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even want to shout them out, honestly, but sales reps, shoe stores, like, I've worked a lot of jobs, man, like, just trying to find something that felt good for me, and just nothing really fits for me as far as in the workforce. But I do want to own a business, and I do want to run businesses, and I run a business, but I want to run more businesses, you know what I'm saying?
Any of those jobs that you did work at, if you had the money and could afford it, would you own any of those places that you worked a job at?
Nah.
Not the particular ones you worked at.
I learned from all of them, though. Like, I learned professionalism, being on time, and customer service, and stuff that I need, just because with rap right now, it's not, when you're a DIY artist, when you do everything yourself and you're independent and everything coming out your own pocket, you need to know how to gross, you need to know net gross, you need to know where your money is going, you need to know how to speak to people, you need to know how to be on time, you know what I'm saying? You have to have some type of order and discipline about yourself that you do learn at these jobs at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's kind of what got me where I'm at. So it's, it just didn't fit for me, but I still pick up advertising, marketing, all that, you know what I'm saying? I learned a lot by working them, so yeah.
Were any of those jobs that you did do tough?
I don't think anything on earth is tough.
Any crazy stories dealing with any of those jobs? Anything that happened out of the norm?
Ooh, man. Call centers, man. Call centers, you'll find out a lot about what the world think about black people working a call center, man. You get called out your name a lot just saying how you doing today. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to speak to a black person. Like, stuff like that, like, how'd you even know I was black? But stuff like that, man, it's just regular stuff you deal with. I worked at I ain't gonna say the building, but just playing rap music, just getting rolled up for playing rap music through the speakers. That was underground rap. It wasn't like commercial rap, and it was just a big dispute over that. But it's I've had a bunch of weird things, but I mean it's a corporate environment, so I get it. You know what I'm saying?
When you're at the call center and you're having these racial slurs and names spoken to you, how did you react? How did you handle those things?
The same way I react when I see it now. It don't harm me. Don't nobody do nothing to me. It's that's just how people feel. They hate themselves. They don't hate me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you either way it go. So that's people that hate themselves. That bounce right off me. And it's bad. It's bad during football season when everybody was taking knees and stuff like that, or when Obama was being elected, or when Trump was being elected. You know what I'm saying? You get it. You just get it all the time, but I ain't got to worry about that no more. You know what I'm saying?
Would you check any of them on the phone?
Nah. You learn how to troll people. You know what I'm saying? You kind of say, like, you just keep asking them questions and keep being nice to them and, like, pissing them off even more, but you just learn how to troll people and they hang up on you once they pick up what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that.
Now, these jobs, you said, sometimes they weren't even worth mentioning because you didn't even get a 2-week notice type of thing or give a 2-week notice type of thing. Quit these jobs, got fired from these jobs? When did it happen?
I got fired for a job for going on tour. I got fired from a job just for having the phone out, just some kiddie shit that I feel like it's the phone, the world is in the phone world. Man, like, it's just little shit, man. Like, just when you're trying to balance, trying to get to where you're going musically and balancing the work schedule, sometimes I chose the music, and I put the music first a lot, and I'm glad I did because it was worth it. It got me where I'm at right now and where I'm going. So I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, you know what I'm saying? Your situation, your foundation got to be firm, and you got to be ready to sacrifice. Sometimes you might lose a car. Sometimes your lights might be cut off. Sometimes you might, you know what I'm saying? You might get evicted. So it's a lot of stuff to come with it, but luckily I got through, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I've been fired a lot.
You did get evicted, or you just stating an example?
No, I've been evicted. Yeah, I've been evicted often, like a couple times. I've been repossessed cars. I booked a show. I book shows for myself. I'm just now getting booked for shows, just now. And I put the money down on the venue myself. And sometimes that might be my car note, you know what I'm saying, at the time. And if I don't pack it out, if I don't fill the venue, you know what I'm saying, the car don't get paid that day, or the rent didn't get paid that day. And so many times I took a L until finally, you know what I'm saying? Like, and my numbers probably don't show it. I'm not really big on like IG numbers and followers and stuff like that, but in my city and in my state, I do well when it comes to actually putting people in the venues, and it just took a lot of L's that people didn't get to see, but sometimes you get evicted when you're putting your own money up and stuff like that. So
you've been evicted. You've had a car repossessed behind music.
I've been homeless behind music. I've lived in a garage behind music. You know what I'm saying? It's just your dream chaser story, man. Like, I've been like riding buses and sleeping in garages and couch surfing, and it's a lot of couches, a lot of people that I need to get a couch for, and just I've lived in my clothes in a backpack or a box for like months and months and months and months and months and months, just because this is what I wanted to do, and I wanted this to make my money. And I guess I was stubborn about it or whatever, but I just wanted this to make my money. I wanted my brand to do it, and you gotta get through that. You gotta get through that stage. You know what I'm saying? It's an ugly stage. It's like growing dreads. You gotta get through that ugly stage before you get to the dread part. So before it start locking, but that's all it was.
How long were you homeless for?
Like 8 months. You wouldn't know though. I still when I got money, I would go to get my hair cut. You wouldn't know, because I still look like I look. You know what I'm saying? When it come to finding somewhere to sleep, I had to figure it out. So.
Now, there are different levels to being homeless.
Yeah, I wasn't dirty. Like, it was it was a truck stop down the road from this garage that I was staying in. Had a shower, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I had a routine of getting through and staying, keeping my hygiene up and keeping my mobility up, learning. I learned the bus route. And it's really how I learned the city. I ain't really know much about my city till I started riding the bus through it. And, but yeah, I wasn't that homeless, like, shaking and got the sign and stuff like that. Like, I was bad, but I wasn't there, and I knew I could get out of it too.
Thinking back, losing a car, getting evicted, being homeless behind the music, any regrets on those episodes?
Nah, I
Why
don't regret nothing, cause I like where I'm at. Like, I like where I'm at now. I like where I'm going. Like, I feel it made me unstoppable in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't think nothing can stop me from getting where I'm going. Like, people probably gonna watch this. They don't know who I am. I'm not like I'm not the big name artist. I'm still down here with the little people, but like, it made me unstoppable. It gave me more drive. I got more drive than a lot of people. I sacrifice and risk like a lot more than what somebody would pass up on. I'll take that show, or I'll take that drive. I'll drive that 10 hours or that 16 hours and perform for 15 minutes, and just to plant that seed, you know what I'm saying, in that city, and come back and it grow a little bit more when I come back, and grow a little bit more when I come back. Like, it just made me more like, the mentality, just go get it, you know what I'm saying? That's the only way it's gonna work.
When you were homeless for 8 months, were you prepared for it? Did you know this was a possibility, or it took you by surprise?
Nah, it was kind of a domino effect. After my mom passed, I kind of let myself go. I didn't like love myself. I was just like, fuck everything, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no, like, I ain't take no big L. I just like kind of let myself go. And it was more of a soul searching period than, like, I'll say that, than homelessness. I just had to find out who the hell I was gonna be and get away from that crutch that I had, or anytime I needed something, Mama, I need $50 for my phone bill. Can you help me? I need my car paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I couldn't make that phone call no more. So when shit would go wrong, it was all on me. You know what I'm saying? That crutch or that safety net that I had was gone. So once everything, you know what I'm saying, starts snowballing, it was just like, you got to start over. It like kind of unofficially went bankrupt. You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't rely on Dad?
Nah, couldn't rely on Pops. I couldn't rely on Pops. Pops was kind of going through his own situation at the time. But yeah, I don't want to talk about his business.
You relied on friends or other relatives?
Yeah. Same people holding me down, world culture music. Same people holding me down now have my back then. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
What was the bottom point with the 8-month stretch? Was it the truck stop next to the garage? Hygiene scenario?
Yeah. I was at the bus stop, and there was a chick I used to talk to, just see me and like roll by me, like looking like, damn, homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, in high school, you was the man, homie, type shit. And that's how I felt. And I was just like, ooh. And I was just like, damn, I'm out here doing bad, because that bar just fit me at that time. And I just was like, nah, I can't go out like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come from a family of great people. Like, I can't go out like this.
How much did you have to your name at your bottom point?
Shit, nothing. I ain't have $1. I had $1.50 to get on the bus, but I ain't had nothing.
How'd you get up out of being homeless?
Work, writing, focus, just knowing what I wanted to do. Once I said, okay, this is the type of music I want to make, we're going to find a job that you ain't got to like it, but you're going to have to do it until you know what I'm saying, till you get your shit together. Then you meet your partner that help you more, you know what I'm saying? A partner that's down, that understand what you're trying to do, and also want to support. And then once you start supporting yourself, people start supporting you too. They start believing in you too, and that's how I got out of it, man. It's a slow, it's a garden. It's a slow flower. You just gotta plant your seed. You gotta water it. You gotta let it sit. You gotta let it get some sun. You gotta water it again, and you slowly start coming up out of there. But that's all, you know.
Mentally, did you ever suffer from depression? Did you ever have suicidal thoughts in that 8-month stretch?
Yeah. Depression is inevitable for everybody at some point. Suicidal thoughts. I think about death too much, more than the regular person. You know what I'm saying? Just because seeing a parent die in your face is just something you just think about. Like, what happens after that moment? But yeah, like I said, I let myself go. That's you do fall into depression, but now I make songs about how to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that's necessary and needed in today's world. So my music is a lot of medicine for a lot of people, in a sense.
Was there ever thoughts on crashing out and robbing a bank or doing something super drastic?
One time, my pops had a pistol in this in this cabinet. I went by his house, and it was a corner store around the street that I wanted to rob, just because somebody broke in my car. I just was like, man, I'm tired of doing everything right. You know what I'm saying? And shit still, it was a point where I was just feel like I was doing everything right, and shit was still like, I was still getting tested. And it was like, all right, I'm about to get everybody back. And then I was like, this ain't me. You know what I'm saying? It's chill. So yeah.
You literally saw your mom pass away in front of you?
Yeah. Yeah, she passed right when I got to the hospital. So, man, that was a crazy day. I probably drove like 30 miles to get there. And right when I got there, she, you know what I'm saying, I held her hand and she smiled and went on. So it was a moment. It was a moment.
When it came to like depression and suicidal thoughts and stuff like that, obviously that was something you had around that 8-month stretch, but ever sought counseling for this stuff? Ever sought therapy? Ever sought medication, a doctor? Or?
I ain't never needed. You know what I'm saying? That's what my writing was for. I ride bikes. You know what I'm saying? I'm a biker too. I almost brought my bike out here to ride with the people out here that be riding bikes. Man, that's my therapy. My music is my therapy, and I try to make music. And like I said, I'm out of that state, man. I'm doing way better. We making moves. We happy now. You know what I'm saying? So I make music how to get to the position and to the mind state that I'm in right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, no.
Don't feel like you need it?
Nah, I probably do, but I like riding bikes for therapy, and I like writing it away instead of talking about it, like, you know what I'm saying, like that. I like to project it to my music, and it kind of makes me the doctor in a sense, because people come to me after they hear my songs and I sit with them and I let them talk and I listen. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of turn into the therapist.
Somebody watching this, let's say they're about to be homeless. Of course, circumstances could be different for everybody.
Right.
Anything you would say to somebody about to be homeless?
I don't know why you about to be homeless, but if it's because you are busting your ass to get to a position, a dream, or something that you want, just keep following it. It ain't gonna last forever. If you just homeless because you lazy, then you just lazy. But if you losing it all trying to get to something, you just losing stuff you don't need, and you're gonna get everything you need soon. So
Somebody watching this trying to get out of being homeless, maybe they're homeless right now, anything you would say to them?
that's homeless right now.
Yeah, trying to get out.
You good if you got a phone and you see this interview. So you need to look at some you need to do some research like I did. You need to start asking questions on YouTube right after you watch this interview. You need to search how to run a company, or how to get a tax ID, or how to start a business, or how to tour, or how to book shows, or if you rap, if you do music, you know what I'm saying, or how to start a t-shirt business, or how to make money taking pictures with that phone you watching YouTube with. You know what I'm saying? So it's so many ways to make money now. If you got a phone and you homeless and you can watch that, you can put that energy into something that's gonna be productive for you. So do that, and I bet you're gonna be good. And that's what I did. And like I'm going on my fourth festival. Like I taught myself how to throw a festival in Tulsa just by Googling and asking questions to Google. Like Google got all the answers. And now I'm on the 4th annual festival. You know what I'm saying? So it's and it's one of the biggest hip hop. It is the biggest hip hop festival in Oklahoma now, and that's something to hang my hat on. And that's something that I learned how to do just out of pure desperation of not having nothing and wanting something that's gonna last annually, and that can be mine, and something I work on all year round just for that weekend, and Memorial Day weekend, and now it's blossoming, and now we got headliners, and now we got sponsors. You know what I'm saying? At first it was just a thought that I wrote down in my head, so when I didn't have anything. You know, and that's when you're the most creative, is when you don't got nothing, which is crazy.
Hindsight 2020, that 8-month stretch of you being homeless, could that have been prevented, or was that inevitable for you?
I think it was inevitable. I don't think if I could have prevented it, I would have prevented it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Growing up lower middle class, maybe somebody watching this as well, give us one more piece of advice. Somebody experiencing lower middle class,
Man,
anything you would say to them?
Yeah, it's just money. You know what I'm saying? Lower middle class is just money. We don't need money. If you're watching this, you don't need no money. I tell people this all the time. Me being from the north side, it has a bad stigma of we tend to say we don't have anything. We came up with nothing, and we got it out the mud, and we came from nothing, and when really we came from everything. When the people with money, they pay to get the style that we got. They pay to run as fast as the kids that from the neighborhoods that I'm from. They pay $30,000 a year type shit just to run as fast as us, or jump as high as us, or speak our lingo, or make music like us, and we don't have nothing. We do it with no money. We do it just off pure creativity and just pure having it, because we are chosen. You know what I'm saying? We got it. We already got it. So I try to tell everybody to quit saying we come from nothing, because we don't have no money. Like, we come from everything. We don't really, if you don't need money to do stuff, the people that got money, maybe they the ones that come from. They got everything but what we got. You know what I'm saying? So, and so that's what I tell people. If you poor, if you middle class, you lower class, and you don't have money, think about everything you do got. You know what I'm saying? And quit saying you come from nothing, because you really come from everything. You got everything you need around you. And that's why we say everything is us. You got everything you need. You too focused on, like, you gotta open your eyes. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I tell somebody that came up like me in the lower middle class.